Conscience creates reality is something which is actually a pretty known subject, but today I want to give my take on it and how you can actually identify manipulation. So for anybody who isn't known or doesn't know about this or about this concept, that your beliefs control reality, and it is the case that whatever you expect to happen, consciously or subconsciously, is basically gonna happen. That's what basically the whole law of attraction or manifestation space is also about. But I don't really want to try to get too much or see it that much from that angle. I rather want to talk about just what happens in today's world a lot. So basically, I want to talk about manipulation. And once you realize that your whatever you perceive or your perception controls what you experience, it becomes very interesting because we have a lot of basically hardwired beliefs such as death, however, and those can be used to entrap us. And um, it is super interesting because we believe that the reality we experience is fixed, hard, and objectively existent. So because of the physicality, of the nature of the physicality, but as we know, actually, like for a long time, even from mainstream science, that what we perceive as physical light is only a very small spectrum of everything in existence, and yet we believe that it is all, even though we know that it is not. And the physical light is basically because it is a very dense light. So the less dense the light is, the closer it is to source. So as you, if you want if you want to say, you can basically say that what you experience physically is the symptom of conscience, but it's, let's say, it's far from the source. So it takes some time in order to manifest, because the physical reality is, let's say, the furthest apart or very far apart from the source. So it always, that's why when you manifest, it always takes some time to manifest, because it really needs time to get to the physical. The information really needs time in order to get to the physical reality. What I'm actually trying to say is that how to identify manipulation. So what most of the people that run the world actually try, they try to manipulate your conscience more than everything, because the conscience is what basically creates your decisions. So depending on your consciousness, you're gonna act. So when you're in a different state of consciousness, you're gonna act in a different way. For example, if you are angry, if you have an angry conscience, then you're gonna act angry, or you're gonna throw things around or whatever. And that, they try to manipulate your conscience in order to control you. And how can you identify what is manipulative on your own without really needing anybody to tell you what's wrong in the world? You can just try whenever. What they use is emotional triggers. That they try to control you by using emotional triggers. For example, right now I'm in a garden, but sometimes there's like a road, the country road, and there are cars passing by. Car, for example, are one of those things which are stress applying, and stress is one of those things that they can use in order to control your conscience, because the more stressed you are, the more your body is in a survival mode, and the less consciousness, or the less conscious you can be, because when you're focused on survival, it's very hard to think clear, because you're just looking for survival, like a rat in a in a wheel, or if that's how you say it. So they can basically use your body as a target. So because that's nothing new, that the noise of cars or machines can trigger adrenaline or cortisol production in your body, and that's basically um, makes you more neocortex heavy, or in general more heavy on survival and basic needs or whatever. not really being able to think clearly. So those are one of those things. But always try to understand what, when you consume something, if you watch something in the news or if you talk to somebody, what does this make me feel? Does it make me feel good? Does it make me feel free? Or is it directing me into a certain direction? So if you get some sort of information, maybe try to identify what this information is trying to lead you to, and whether that's in your best interest or maybe in the interest of somebody. Maybe it's a big company, maybe it's whatever. It could be anything. That's also just with manipulative people. They can try to make you feel guilty for anything, and by that trying to control your behavior. Just as one example. Yeah, I think that's actually it. I just wanted to talk about how your conscience is basically what's controlling everything, your consciousness, and how things around your world, in the physical world, or also people like in the, let's say in the higher density or higher density, can control you and or try to control you. The good thing is that once you're aware that there's a trigger which can control you, you can basically nullify it or neutralize it, because it's always your choice. What they use in order to control you is your lack of knowledge of the manipulative action. They can try to hide it. So, for example, somebody can say, "Hey, how are you?" And another person can say, "Hey, how are you?" But they can mean something completely different. So they can hide their intentions, but not to everybody. So when you become more okay, conscious of your own self, it's much easier to identify those triggers and those manipulation. So that would be my advice, to look out for triggers, people trying to manipulate you, and being aware that your state of consciousness, so the frequency that you vibrate with, if you feel good, you're gonna attract good things, or whatever. If you feel bad, you're gonna attract bad things. Just be aware of that you're basically the one manifesting your reality every time, every single second. So people also like to do certain practices, like affirmations and visualizations. Nothing wrong with that. It's a very good technique in order to manifest something, but you gotta be aware that you're basically manifesting 24/7. And I'm not trying to say that in order to stress you, but sometimes it is more effective to really fix the cause of those thoughts which are coming to you. For example, the nervous system is a very important thing, as I have learned. So basically, especially the vagal nerve, I think it's called in English, is something which you can use to basically neutralize or lower your stress, and by that you're gonna get into a, let's say, more relaxed state of consciousness automatically, and you don't really have to have such a hard time manifesting, or because it's all gonna come naturally. Because everything that is negative or bad is actually artificial and manipulation. Yeah, I hope that was a nice video and you could take some information out of it. I wish you all the best.